Hey gang, Nate Bear here, lead technical tactician for Monument Traders Alliance and Trade of the Day. And as you can see, I am traveling this week, so please excuse the poor lighting and the potentially poor sound. I'm doing the best I can, and I think this week's content is going to be excellent. With that said, let's just dive right in, okay? The first thing I want to talk about is the SPX. And if you've been following along, you know exactly what this yellow line here represents. This is the downtrend line that's been sort of in place since the beginning of 2022. We broke through here. We had a little breakout, which was great and a lot of fun to trade, and we are now retesting that level. The video watch list for this week, I discussed at length this 3930 level and why I think that is important. You've got a few key technical things coming together. You've got trend line support. You've got a 618 retracement, and you've got a retest of this downtrend, which has been broken and is now being retested here. So you've got this confluence of ideas coming together around 3930. If this level does not hold, I will be out of longs, right? I do not want any longs if this level does not hold, because it opens up the door for a retest of these lows, which is around 3800. Okay. So that's sort of my take on the SPX. I want to be long anything over 3930 and looking for a rebound here below 3930, and I am out. Okay. So the first ticker that I want to talk about is NVIDIA, NVDA. And NVIDIA has been very strong this year. Okay. Really since late last year, they put in lows near 100, and they have now eclipsed 230. So a really nice move here from NVIDIA. Recently, they have been very strong off of this lows, and they just had this really nice gap with earnings. So you may look at this chart and say, okay, well, Nate, I can definitely see this is trending, right? But I don't really see a pattern here, and I also don't see a squeeze, and you would be absolutely correct. So why am I talking about NVIDIA? Well, NVIDIA, like I said, just beat earnings, and if we zoom in on this chart, let's look at a 60-minute chart, an hourly chart. What I want you to see is that we are starting to develop that P and the S. So we're starting to get the pattern and the squeeze portion of the TPS trade. What I want to do in NVIDIA is a couple of things. I want to, number one, be patient. I do think that NVIDIA is going to head higher out of this pattern. But what I'd really like to do is give this until either, say, early Wednesday, late Wednesday, maybe even early Thursday, to see if NVIDIA can sort of just chop and hang around in between sort of these levels, right? Sort of back down and back up and back down, and really give me a nice squeeze here, either on the 60-minute, the 78-minute, or the 130-minute chart. And then I will look for NVIDIA to pop up and probably take out 250. As far as the option that I am looking at, I don't really need to go and do anything this week, but I think either next week's calls or even the week after work great. And I will probably either do like the 235s, or if we get like a puke day one day this week and NVIDIA drops to say, 230, I might pick up the 230 calls for next week. Probably go with the 235s. They'll be a little less expensive. But the 235 calls for next week, if NVIDIA can sort of hang out within this pattern and develop a squeeze on the 78, 130, or even the hourly charts. And you can see we do have this first red dot. So the squeeze is starting, right? And a lot of times what happens is you get this big gap, and these names tend to sort of go sideways and then continue higher from there. We see it all the time. We saw it with Tesla recently, and that is a perfect segue into the next chart that I want to talk about, which is Tesla. And what I want you to notice here is sort of the same thing, right? This was Tesla's earnings gap right there, and they sort of went up, and then they made this really nice pattern with a squeeze, and then boom, it just sort of continued higher. Well, at this point, there's nothing really happening on the hourly chart. But if I look at the 130-minute chart, what we notice is that we've got our trend, we've got our pattern setting up, and we've got that one red dot right there. So I want to, again, on Tesla, I would love to see a puke like tomorrow or Wednesday and be able to pick Tesla up off around, say, 200 or 195, somewhere between 195 and 200, somewhere down through here. And then look for Tesla to go ahead and break over these highs over 220 and break a move up into maybe 230, maybe even as high as 250, depending on the overall market conditions. Also, I want you to compare the SPX and Tesla. As the SPX has been going down, what has Tesla been doing? So overall market weakness, right? Overall market weakness. And look at that. I'll leave that drawing there for you. As the market has been going down, Tesla has just been hanging out up here near these highs. Very bullish. It's a bullish divergence. So in Tesla, what do I want to trade? Well, same thing. I'd probably go out into next week or even the monthly series. I think next week is probably okay. So I would probably do something slightly out of the money in Tesla because they are a little bit more expensive. So maybe the 215s for next week in Tesla. And I'd like to get Tesla around 200. Sub 200 would be even better because then I've got a tighter stop, right? My stop will be in here under 190. But if I could pick up Tesla at say 195, stop under 190, and then target a break over 220, I think it's a great risk reward type setup. All right. So that is my take on the SPX. That's my trade setup in NVIDIA. It is developing. I think hopefully by late Tuesday to Wednesday this week, that should be ready to go. And then Tesla watching for a level around 200 to get long, and then look for a move up and over 220. All right. If you like this content, despite my traveling circumstance, be sure to like and subscribe. And leave a comment, question, or whatever below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, and talk to you soon. Later.